I was just perusing across, I don't know whose office this is, but there's a whole lot of Warner's promos on the desk, and the Webb Brothers' new album called Maroon, the Bare Naked Ladies' new album called Maroon. Now, are you in fact the Bare Naked Ladies as well as the Webb Brothers?
Yeah, it's amazing that record's coming out on the same day on the same label. We learned about that about 2 days ago, and we were so happy to find out that happened.
Yeah, right.
Real life Spinal Tap moment.
Bare Naked Ladies, eh? What an honor, man.
Hey.
To be name-checked by the Bare Naked Ladies. Wicked. It's been
1 week since you looked at me, cocked your hand to the side and said I'm angry.
Exactly, and with that we segue nicely into an interview.
Winter's over again. Summer people, some are even, but then some are evil.
Maroon has been described as your first proper record, regardless of the fact that you released Beyond the Biosphere. You know, about, what, last year or something? 18 months ago it was released?
Right.
Well, the thing is with Biosphere is that we made it in our rehearsal space, and we just wanted to keep it sort of like a low-key thing.
Yeah.
And we didn't want it to get blown out of proportion, because it was sort of frightening how many people were talking about it, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't want to have big expectations on it, and it was nice. It was a natural sort of way to go with it. That's also when you make a half-an-hour record, even though most of our favorite records are 35 minutes, the old ones.
Yeah.
It's not really considered an album. People were calling it a demo album. They were calling it a EP. They had all sorts of different names to call it.
A mega EP is a new one I heard. It said in your bio that you guys actually got quite a cold reception from Chicago for a while there, from the scene there. That was quite hard
For a
to
while,
get gigs
still.
and stuff. Really? Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's so tough back home?
It's just a rough town, you know? Chicago's tough. It's kind of like Liverpool or something.
Yeah, right. Well, why specifically your music? I mean, obviously there are bands that have come from there, like Urge Overkill and the whole sort of Wax Trax thing and Smashing Pumpkins.
Right.
And,
Well, it's just two sides of it. You know, there's the real eclectic stuff that they do in town, and then there's the rock scene with Veruca Salt and Urge Overkill and stuff. And we never really fit into either category. We were sort of like an eclectic pop band.
Which is a good thing, I guess,
yeah,
right?
it is. But and that's helped us. It's served us well since then. But there wasn't a scene for us to really fit into in Chicago.
Let's talk about the new album, like Maroon, the non-Bare Naked Ladies version of the album Maroon.
It's been
You know, the first album, I mean, Biosphere got you guys some attention from you know, the magazines and from the press and stuff like that, and it sold a few records, and all of a sudden everyone's like, okay, well, let's hear what they do next. Were you sort of aware of the fact that people would be waiting for this album?
Yeah, I think we were, and also just the pressure of like having a larger budget to spend.
Right, so you
And
spent $5,000 on the first album. How much did you spend on this album then? Well, what's
You
the
don't wanna
markup?
know.
Right.
It's a lot, but it was sort of a weird situation because we had to spend the money. We had no choice. So.
Hey, I don't get that. What do you mean?
That's just sort of the way it's done, you know? It's like you do it.
It's not like you get to keep the money.
It's like
if you don't spend it on the album, you don't keep the money.
Right,
you know?
I guess you might as well just spend it, right?
Well, you get a choice. You either go stay indie or you go to a major label. If you're going to go to a major label, then you sort of I don't know. There's just a certain way it's done, you know.
You think you learnt a lot for the last sort of 12, 18 months of doing
Absolutely.
Biosphere?
Definitely working with Stephen Street on this record and just seeing how he works. I mean, he's such a spiritual guru.
Yeah, right.
In a way, and it was really great.
Did you choose him because of what he'd done in the past, like, you know, obviously the Smiths and Blur and bands like that, or did you do it more on a personal level with Stephen Street?
It was more that he had produced some records of some friends of ours, and they just said that he was a joy to work with.
Right.
And his ethic was to really help the bands make records, the record they wanted to do, but help them accomplish things that they would be unable to do without him.
Yeah.
I think that that's a great ethic for a producer rather than putting a stamped sound on something.
What's your favourite record that he's produced, do you think?
Probably ours.
keep me moving, take me somewhere, get together, now or never.
let's go right back to the beginning. If I'm not mistaken, your father's Jimmy.
Yeah.
Correct? You don't know Jimmy Webb, very famous singer-songwriter, Wichita Lineman, probably the most obvious song I can think of off the top of my head. You know, was he encouraging for you as kids, you know, in terms of getting into the music industry and being musicians?
I mean, certainly growing up in that environment is going to expose you to the business and successful people, and it's going to show you that it's possible. Hey, you can do this. But he sort of was like, if you want to do this, you know, it's going to be really hard.
Yeah, sure.
And he was right.
Yeah, yeah.
So he was sort of, you know, be careful, guys, and take your time and don't make any rash decisions, you know?
Yeah.
He was supportive, but never really pushed. I think he would have been much happier if we were lawyers or something. There was a couple years where he was really, I think he was worried about us, just watching the business sort of disintegrate. I think he was just scared for everybody, anybody who wanted to be involved in this sort of life, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, is it as tough as he said it was going to be?
I don't know. I think he's always said that it was definitely tougher for us than it was for people in the 60s. There were just less people doing it. And the competition is so much.
It's more of a spontaneous thing, too. In the 60s, you make a record, somebody likes it, a DJ starts playing it, and all of a sudden you got, you know, things could just grow. It could happen organically.
And everything was so fresh and new, and no one was doing new sounds and everything like that, you know.
And now it's sort of, it's just a different world we live in.
Yeah.
We're all awaiting the new Nirvana.
Yep. Can I just take the time out to say...